My girlfriend said, "We broke up months ago. You really thought we were still together?"
While I was still paying the rent and sleeping next to her, I replied, "Understood." I packed my life out of our apartment and let her believe she had won. Days later, her sister confessed, "Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. Like this video, and let's get to this exciting story." My girlfriend used to say she loved me at night. By day, she presented herself as single. The worst part, everyone believed her. I don't even know where to start. I'm sitting in my car at 3 a.m. because I can't force myself to go back to our apartment right now. What I discovered today completely turned my world upside down. I'm 28 years old. I work as a night security guard downtown, and I'm finishing my criminal justice degree at a community college. I earn about $42,000 a year. It's not much, but I know how to manage my money well. My girlfriend, Sloan, and I have been together for 6 years. She works part-time at a boutique and earns around $18,000 a year. We've lived together for 3 years, and I cover the rent, the bills, and most shared expenses since I earn more. Sloan has always been social. She goes out with friends on Friday nights, takes weekend trips to visit her sister. I'm more of a homebody between work and college, but I always supported her social life. I trusted her completely. Yesterday, I was scrolling through Instagram when I saw something that made no sense. Our mutual friend, Kaio, had posted photos from a birthday party last weekend. In the background of one of the photos, you could clearly see Sloan kissing a guy I had never seen before. She was wearing the dress she bought last month for a weekend trip with her college friends. I messaged Kaio. "Man, Sloan was at Jake's party last weekend? I thought she was traveling with her college friends." His reply hit me like a truck. "Bro, I thought you guys broke up months ago. She's been bringing Dex to everything since February. Are you guys back together?" Broken up for months? Who the hell is Dex? I've been living with her, sleeping next to her, paying our bills, and apparently everyone thinks we broke up in February. I called Kaio immediately. "Kaio, what do you mean? We didn't break up. We lived together. We were together last Tuesday when you stopped by the house." "My God, Jace, Sloan has been telling everyone you guys broke up in February. She said it was a mutual agreement and that you were just working out the living arrangements, but that she was single and seeing other people. We didn't break up. We were planning a trip for next month. There was no break, no breakup, nothing." After hanging up, I spent hours scouring social media like a detective. Over the last 3 months, every time Sloan said she was going out with friends or visiting her sister, she was with this Dex guy. Photos of them at restaurants, concerts, looking like a couple, while I was working nights thinking she was just with friends. But what destroyed me most was something else. She looked happier in those photos than she had with me in months, as if she were living a completely parallel life where I simply didn't exist. I also found something that made my blood boil. Sloan was active on dating apps using photos from the time of our relationship, actual photos from our trips, but with me cropped out of the image. A photo from our weekend in the mountains last fall now shows only her on the trail with the caption, "Love exploring new places. You could be here by my side." She was using our relationship as marketing material to find my replacement while lying to everyone about our status. I've been sitting in this parking lot for 2 hours trying to process all of this. How long had she been planning this? How long have I been some kind of joke to our mutual friends? How long have I been paying rent, bills, and groceries for someone who's been telling everyone she's single? She's supposed to come back tomorrow night from the weekend with her college friends, which I now realize is likely a romantic weekend with Dex. I have no idea how to bring this up without completely losing control. Update 1. I decided to use the weekend she was away to get my life in order and understand exactly what I was dealing with. The first thing I did was call her sister, Mara. Sloan and I always got along well with Mara. She's been to our apartment several times, knows we live together, and seemed to like me. I figured if anyone would tell me the truth about what Sloan had been saying, it would be her. Mara, it's Jace. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Hi, Jace. What is it? Sloan told you we broke up? There was a long pause. Why are you asking that? Because I just found out she's been telling our mutual friends we broke up months ago. I'm trying to understand how far this lie has spread. Oh my God, Jace, this is so embarrassing. Just tell me the truth, Mara, please. She told me and our mom that you guys broke up in February because you were being very controlling with her social life. She said you wouldn't let her go out with friends and that you made her feel trapped. I almost dropped the phone. Controlling, Mara? I never tried to control her social life. I always encouraged her to go out. I pay for her Uber when she goes out drinking so she doesn't have to worry about getting home safely. I know this is weird to hear, but she said you guys fought a lot and that you threatened to kick her out if she didn't stop seeing her friends. This is completely made up. We don't fight, and I never threatened to kick her out. We live together. We share expenses. We sleep in the same bed every night. How did she explain that part? She said you guys were still working out the living situation, but that she was looking for a place of her own. That was insane. Sloan had created an entire fictional narrative where I was the controlling boyfriend she had courageously freed herself from, when in reality I was supporting her financially and emotionally while she cheated on me and lied to everyone about our relationship. Mara, she's lying to you. We are together. We have always been together. Yesterday morning, she told me she loved me before leaving for the trip. This makes no sense. She's been asking our mom for money to help with rent, saying the situation with her roommate wasn't working out. And there it was. Sloan had been telling her family she needed financial help because her living situation was unstable, while I was paying 100% of our rent and expenses. She was getting money twice, from me and from her family, lying about our relationship status. After hanging up with Mara, I called my friend Wade from work. Wade went through a messy divorce and is very practical when it comes to relationships. Wade, I need your help with something, and I need you not to ask too many questions until I explain everything. What's going on, brother? Sloan has been cheating on me and lying about our relationship for months. She's out of town until tomorrow night, and I need to move my stuff out and cut ties completely before she gets back. Damn, what do you need? Help moving and a place to stay for a few days while I figure out the housing situation. Done. When do we start? I spent the rest of Saturday methodically disconnecting myself from Sloan's life. I took photos of everything in the apartment for documentation, packed all my things, and took them to Wade's house. I took my name off the lease. Fortunately, it was month to month, and I only had to give 30 days' notice. I canceled all services that were in my name: electricity, gas, internet, and cable. I called the landlord and explained I was moving out and wouldn't be responsible for damages or back rent after the date. I also went to the bank and closed our joint account, transferring my money to a new account at another bank. That account only had about $800, money I deposited for shared expenses, so it wasn't like I was taking something that was actually hers. The hardest part was dealing with our dog, Rust. Technically, he's mine. I adopted him before Sloan and I moved in together. He's microchipped in my name, and I pay all the vet bills. But Sloan loves him, and I knew taking him would hurt her. Still, I couldn't leave him with someone who had been lying to me for months and would probably forget to feed him once the drama started. By Sunday night, it was as if I had never lived there. All my furniture, my clothes, my books, my kitchen utensils, even my plants, everything was gone. I left her things untouched, but removed everything that was mine or that I had paid for. The apartment looked completely different with just her belongings. I wrote a short note and left it on the kitchen counter. Sloan, I know about Dex. I know about the lies you've been telling everyone about us breaking up. I know about the dating apps. It's over. Do not contact me. The utilities will be shut off on Monday, since they were in my name. The landlord knows I'm moving out. Your half of this month's rent is paid, but after that, the responsibility is yours. I left my key on top of the note, took one last look around, and left. This morning, I got a call from Mara.
Jace, Sloan called me crying, asking if I could send money to pay the light bill. She said her roommate moved out suddenly and left all the bills to her. Should I send it? No, Mara, don't send her money. She's 26 and has been lying to you for months about our relationship. It's time for her to learn to support herself. But what if she can't pay the rent? Then she'll have to look for a cheaper place or move back in with family. This is no longer my problem, and it shouldn't be yours either. Sloan has been calling and messaging me non-stop since she got back last night, but I blocked her number. She tried calling from other numbers, but I'm not answering anything I don't recognize. I know she's probably panicking because her whole scheme collapsed, but honestly, that's what happens when you try to maintain a double life. She wanted to be single so badly that she convinced everyone she was single. Now she can actually be single and deal with all the responsibilities that come with it. I'm going to stay at Wade's house for another week while I look for a new place. It's strange starting over at 28, but it's also liberating. For the first time in years, I'm responsible only for my own bills and my own choices. More updates to come as this situation unfolds. Update 2. Things have escalated quite a bit since my last update, and honestly, I'm shocked at how desperate and manipulative Sloan has become now that she's lost her safety net. First, let me tell you what happened when she got back from the weekend trip. Wade has a security camera at the apartment complex where he lives. On Sunday night around 11 p.m., we saw Sloan's car park outside. She sat there for about 20 minutes before getting out of the car and starting to walk around the building, trying to figure out which apartment was his. Wade and I watched from the window as she called my phone repeatedly, pacing back and forth in the parking lot. Eventually, she gave up and left, but not before leaving a note on Wade's car that said, "Jace, please call me. We need to talk. This is all a big misunderstanding." On Monday morning, I went to talk to my supervisor at work and explained I was dealing with a personal situation and that extra security might be needed in case my ex-girlfriend tried to contact me at work. My supervisor was cool about it and said they'd keep an eye out. Good thing I did, because on Tuesday night around 2 a.m. during my shift, Sloan showed up at the office complex where I work. I was doing my rounds when I got an alert that someone had entered the garage. The security cameras caught everything. Sloan went straight to the main entrance and started banging hard on the glass doors, trying to get my attention. When I didn't respond, she went back to her car and sat there with the engine running for over an hour. I called my supervisor and the building security team, and they reviewed the footage the next morning. Seeing her on the cameras like that, looking desperate and unstable, made it very clear how much I really didn't know the person I lived with for 6 years. What bothered me most was how calculated her approach was. She knew my work schedule, knew I'd be alone, and knew I couldn't just abandon my post. She was trying to force a confrontation in a place where I had no way to run or easily avoid her. On Wednesday, I got a message from Kaio. "Man, Sloan showed up at my apartment asking if I knew where you were living. She was crying and saying you abandoned her and took everything. Is that true?" I called Kaio and explained the whole situation, the lies about the breakup, the financial manipulation, the double life. His response was exactly what I needed to hear. "My God, Jace, I had no idea. The way she talked about your breakup, it sounded like a mutual agreement, like both were moving on. She never mentioned you still lived together and that you paid the rent. What exactly did she tell you when she showed up there?" "She said you guys fought, that you left without notice, took all the furniture and left her with bills she couldn't pay. She asked if she could sleep on my couch for a few days until she got organized. And what did you say?" "I said no.
After what you told me about the lies and the cheating, I'm not getting involved in this drama." Kaio wasn't the only one she tried to manipulate. In the following days, I received messages from several mutual friends saying she had contacted them, telling variations of the same story, that I had abandoned her suddenly, left all the bills for her to pay, and taken furniture that was ours and not mine. What she didn't expect was that these people would check the story with me. Everyone who contacted me got the full truth of what had been happening, including screenshots of her dating app profiles and photos of her with Dex. The reaction was unanimous. No one wanted to get involved in helping someone who had been lying and cheating for months. On Thursday morning, Mara called me. "Jace, I need to tell you something about Sloan that I think you need to know." "What is it?" "She came to stay here at my house last night because she was evicted from the apartment. While she was here, she was on the phone with someone. I think it was Dex, and she was saying this was all part of her plan." "What plan?" "She said something about planning this transition period for over a year, that she needed to keep things financially stable with you while she decided what she really wanted. She said she never imagined you would just disappear because you're too good and would always take care of her." I felt sick hearing that. She planned this for a year? That's what it sounded like. She was complaining that Dex now doesn't want to live together because he doesn't want the drama of dealing with her ex-boyfriend situation. She seemed annoyed because the plan went wrong. So there was the truth. Sloan wasn't confused about what she wanted, nor going through a rough patch in the relationship. She had been systematically planning to replace me while using me as financial and emotional support during the transition. She kept me around as a safety net while she built her exit strategy. The most satisfying part of Mara's call came next. "Jace, I wanted you to know that Mom and I are not going to help her financially anymore. After finding out the truth about what she did to you, we're both disgusted. She's 26 and needs to learn to take care of herself instead of manipulating the people who care about her." I appreciate that, Mara, truly. She's been lying to our whole family for months, making everyone believe you were controlling and abusive, when in reality you were supporting her the whole time. This is not acceptable. The final confirmation came yesterday when I spoke with the manager of the boutique where Sloan works. I needed to update my emergency contacts for insurance purposes anyway, so I mentioned that Sloan and I were no longer together. "Oh, what a shame," said the manager. "But to be honest, that explains some things about her behavior lately." "How so?" "She's been calling in sick much more often, and when she does come to work, she spends most of her time on her phone messaging. We had to talk to her about customer service complaints because she's been distracted and rude to customers." "How long has this been going on?" "Since about February, I'd say, right around the time she started talking about this new boyfriend she was seeing." Even at work, Sloan's focus was on her double life and not her responsibilities. She was coasting at her job while I carried the financial weight of our life together. Now I'm settled in a small apartment. Nothing fancy, but clean, affordable, and entirely mine. Rust loves having his own space again, and honestly, I'm sleeping better than I have in months. I know Sloan is struggling now that reality has hit her door, but that's the consequence of trying to manipulate multiple people for your own convenience. She wanted the freedom of being single while keeping the security of our relationship, and when I found out the truth, she lost both. Final update. It's been over a week since I vanished from Sloan's life, and I'm finally ready to tell how it all ended. The aftermath was even more revealing than the initial discovery, and confirmed that leaving the way I did was, without a doubt, the right decision. First, a practical update. I'm completely settled in my apartment, and it's incredible the peace of mind that comes with knowing every bill, every piece of furniture, every responsibility is exclusively mine. The doubt of being used or supporting someone else's secret life no longer exists. Rust adapted perfectly to our new home. He seems calmer too, which makes me wonder if he wasn't sensing a tension in our old apartment that I was too blind to see. But the true conclusion of this story was what happened with Sloane's increasingly desperate attempts to win me back when she realized how much she depended on my stability.
Last Thursday, she somehow managed to get my new address. I still don't know how. I didn't give it to anyone except my job and the landlord. She showed up at 7 p.m., right as I was arriving from class, standing by my car in the parking lot. "Jace, please, we need to talk. You can't just throw away 6 years without giving me a chance to explain." I stood there looking at her, at this person I thought I knew, and I felt absolutely nothing. No anger, no sadness, no nostalgia, just emptiness. "There's nothing to explain, Sloane. You made your choices over the last year. Now you have to live with the consequences." "It wasn't the way you think. I was confused about what I wanted, but I never stopped caring about you." "You were confused for an entire year? Confused when you created dating profiles using our photos? Confused when you told your family I was controlling? Confused when you planned this transition period while I paid all our bills?" Her face went pale. She didn't expect me to know about the lies to her family, nor the year-long planning. Who told you that? Does it matter? The point is that now I know who you really are. I know our entire relationship was just a convenience for you while you decided what you really wanted. That's not true. I loved you. I still love you. I just needed time to think. Time? You had plenty of time, Sloane. Time to go out with other people, time to lie to everyone about our relationship status, time to use my income while playing house with someone else. What you didn't have was the honesty to tell me what was going on. She started to cry, but it looked staged, as if she were trying to trigger my protective instinct rather than express genuine emotion. "I made mistakes, okay? But we can get past this. We've been together for 6 years, Jace. That has to mean something." It would mean something if those 6 years had been honest. But I have no idea how much of our relationship was real and how much was just you using me as a safety net. "I wasn't using you." "Really? Then why did you keep me around while you built a relationship with Dex? Why did you let me pay all our bills while telling your family you needed money? Why did you lie to everyone about our status unless you were gaining something by keeping me in your life?" She couldn't answer any of those questions, which was answer enough. The conversation ended with her begging me to reconsider, promising to break up with Dex, promising to be honest from then on, promising she would change. But promises from someone who lied for a year mean nothing. "Sloane, even if you were being sincere about changing, which I doubt, the trust is completely gone. I cannot be in a relationship where I have to wonder all the time if you're telling the truth or planning your next exit." "So that's it? You're just going to erase 6 years like they meant nothing?" "I'm not erasing 6 years. I'm walking away from someone who erased 6 years while pretending to still be in the relationship." That was the last time I saw her. Over the weekend, I heard from Kaio that the situation with Dex had collapsed. Apparently, once he realized the drama involving Sloane lying and financially manipulating the boyfriend she lived with, he decided he didn't want any part of that mess. He told people at a party that he thought Sloane was truly single and would never have gotten involved if he knew the truth about her situation. Now she's lost both relationships and has to deal with the financial reality of supporting herself for the first time in years. Mara sent me a message yesterday with the last bit of information I needed to close this chapter. Sloane moved back in with her parents. She's been telling everyone that I stole all the furniture and left her financially stranded, but her mom cut that off quickly. She said if she was adult enough to lie and cheat, then she was adult enough to deal with the consequences without playing the victim. She keeps asking if we think she should try to win you back,
and we keep telling her she should focus on learning to be honest and independent instead of looking for someone else to take care of her.
That was exactly what I needed to hear. The people who truly matter in this situation, mutual friends and family who actually know what happened, can see through Sloane's manipulation and the victim narrative she tries to maintain. Looking back, I can see so many red flags I let pass. The fact that she never suggested paying for dates or shared expenses, the way she got defensive when I asked about her plans for the weekend, the way she always steered any conversation about our future toward what I could provide for her instead of what we could build together. I think the relationship had been one-sided for much longer than just the last year. I was just too invested in the idea of what we were building to realize that, in fact, she wasn't building it with me. The hardest part of this whole experience wasn't losing Sloane. It was realizing how little I had valued myself. I was so focused on being a good provider and a supportive partner that I never stopped to ask if I was getting the same dedication back. I'm 28. I have a stable job, I'm finishing college, I have my own place, my dog, and friends who truly respect me. For the first time in years, I'm excited about my future, instead of just trying to maintain someone else's comfort. The right person won't see you as a safety net or a transition plan. They'll see you as a partner who deserves honesty. In the end, it wasn't a breakup, it was a full audit. She wanted to live like she was single, spend like a dependent, and be treated like a professional victim. The problem is the emotional spreadsheet didn't balance, the funding ran out, and reality won. Funny how emotional confusion always shows up accompanied by lies, convenience, and a bill paid by someone else. She didn't lose a boyfriend.